Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. How are you today? It is Monday, July 31st, 2017. People, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but this is something that we have got to pay attention to. It's getting almost no media coverage, and I want to talk about that as well because there's a lot of things that are going on, but it's the dollar. The US dollar today, again, is lower. This has been going on for months. We are, I believe, at a 14-month low with no end in sight with regard to the dollar. I have been broadcasting this for months. And I really hope you're starting to pay attention to this because it's going to affect you. It's going to affect you directly. It's going to affect our economy as well. Let's back up a moment here. I have covered at length the fact that the Fed keeps missing their inflation targets. The last time they spoke, they promised they were going to hit it and do whatever it takes to get there. And you can see this in real time. It's playing out. So they're determined to melt the dollar. That's going to make your life and mine harder because everything is going to require more weak dollars to purchase things. Now, with that in mind, I have spoken about how the weak dollar is stock market supportive to a certain degree. Now, why to a certain degree? Because again, I think, and I wrote an article earlier today on my Steam It blog, which touched on this a little bit, the fact, this is a fact, that is going to start costing you and me more weaker dollars to buy everything. It's going to start to pinch us. We're going to start to get pinched, and that's going to affect consumer spending moving forward. Our economy is like 70% dependent on consumer spending. So if this plays out like I believe it's going to here, this has a potential to affect GDP moving forward. Again, the Fed is stuck in a very, very bad spot here. With regard to their balance sheet, what they're going to do with it. I don't think they're going to do anything with it this year. I think we're going to get one more rate hike this year, but I still believe the Fed. I believe them when they say that they're going to hit their inflation targets. I think they're going to overshoot their inflation targets because they never get it right. You understand? So this is the big story. Now, it's kind of funny. It's really almost retardedly funny. Here we go. I'm watching CNBC this morning. They're talking about crude oil hitting nearly $50 a barrel, and they're tossing back and forth. Well, crude oil is nearly $50 a barrel. What do you think is affecting this? Think of how stupid this sounds. What do you think is affecting this? It's the dollar. It's the dollar getting weaker. It's commodities positive. I've been outlining this for the longest time. Gold and silver should be up so much over the past, forever. We know it's not real. But again, commodities across the board are going to benefit to the upside from the weaker dollar. That's why those of you on CNBC who are talking about the dollar, crude oil, are not talking about the dollar because the dollar is affecting crude oil because it's priced in dollars. It's not that hard. Guys and girls on CNBC, it's not that hard, okay? Start telling people the truth, that the dollar is in a downward spiral with no end in sight here, how the weaker dollar is stock market positive to a certain degree, or how it can affect and is going to affect the consumer moving forward. Will you talk about this stuff? No. You got to cheerlead for the market. You got to, do your cartwheels and your backflips, how the Dow Jones Industrial Average is higher today. Meanwhile, the NASDAQ and the S&P are lower. Okay, understand. The Dow Jones Industrial Average looks at 30 stocks. Okay, it doesn't give you a really good picture as to what's going on. You want to look at the S&P 500. That's really where you want to look. But they won't tell you any of this. So, they got to keep you distracted. They got to say, look here, people. Look at the stock market. Look at what it's doing. Don't look at the dollar that is going lower. No. They can't allow you to see this. They can't allow you to know that you are poorer today than you were yesterday because you have lost purchasing power. I don't care if you have the same exact amount of cash in your bank account. You are poorer today because your dollar is losing value. You're much poorer today than you were 14 months ago. Don't you understand? It's an illusion. All right? And the illusion is going to get very real when you're going to start paying more for everything moving forward. Anyway, that's really the story here. It's just so important, and it's getting no coverage. Again, it's a distraction. Look here, don't look there. But I'm going to urge you to share this. I'm going to urge you to get this out there. If you're watching this on YouTube, give me a thumbs up and then share it. If you're watching this on Steam It, please upvote this, re-steam this, get it out. Until people start to wake up as to how they are being gamed. You realize you're being gamed. I know you realize that if you follow this blog, that you are being gamed. The general population, they are so dumbed down. They don't have any idea what's happening to them. They don't even realize probably if they're awake or sleeping. I think most people exist in some kind of a zombie-like state. I've spoken about this many, many times. The zombie apocalypse is freaking real. It's going on all around you. And this is how they can get away with all of this, by keeping people so dumb, by keeping people uneducated, too busy to focus on what's going on around them. Don't talk about the dollar. No, don't talk about it. Anyway, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow.